Welcome to yet another episode of Success Principles by Successful Principles, a parenting project. For the ones who know me, my name is Kamalneet Singh. For the ones who don't know me, my name is still Kamalneet Singh. The name doesn't change. I'm an author, a mindset coach, and a TEDx speaker. And I firmly believe that every father is a superman and every mother is a superwoman, and conscious parenting is their true superpower. Now, all these years having interacted with parents, when you ask any parent that what do you really want from your kids, they have a very simple answer, which is that I want my kids to be happy, I want my kids to be successful, and on top of everything, I want my kids to be good human beings. Now, I can assure you that every parent has great intentions for their kids. But what happens is sometimes along this journey and with the way things are changing, sometimes they're not able to get our intentions. Sometimes they pick up our actions, which sometimes can be not very, very supportive. And we believe that, as a learner, as a parent, if we can understand their psychology better, we'll be able to raise them in a better way. And the intention behind this project is to bring various educators from different parts of the country and few parts of the world so that their experience can help us parents like you and me raise our kids in a better way. And I'm very, very glad that on this series, we have some fantastic educators. And the guest on today's show is an extraordinary educator. And I know that all the parents out there must be wondering that who do we have on the show today? We have with us today the principal of the Heritage School, Vasant Kunj, Dr. Sunita Swaraj. Now, let me give you a little brief about her. Dr. Sunita Swaraj, principal of the Heritage School, Vasant Kunj, is an erudite visionary and an adept educationist. With more than 2.5 decades of teaching and administrative experience, she continues her journey of being a catalyst of change in the lives of youth through education. Her extensive experience also includes setting up schools from scratch to formulating curriculum, evaluating school practices, and building school culture. She's received various accolades, including the prestigious Socrates Award by the Oxford, UK. Alumni of Harvard Business School, she firmly believes in creating school as a community that is led by its students. Now, that is something that really stands out about this school. She embraces the vision of creating a student-led boutique school. Her questioning attitude, non-willingness to take things for granted, and the courage to dream has led her to become a leading educationist. She has initiated community outreach projects which look at learners as change makers. Now, that's a very profound theory when you look at learners as change makers. Students strategically plan and move out in the community to fabricate lasting change. All these years, she's really led a lot of projects, especially helped the underprivileged of Vasant Kunj Bastis by the creation of a nexus between the haves and the have-nots. Now, there are various projects that she has led, and her special contribution towards elevating the socially and economically weaker section is seen through the initiation of multiple projects which aim at fostering functional literacy for both parents and students coming from the EWS category in the school. Her inspirational demeanor has made her win countless hearts in addition to several accolades. Her innovation in the library enrichment and reading program brought the Bandana Sane Library Award to the school. She dreams of a student and a teacher community that learns constantly and is open to look at quality education and learning as an offering back to the society. And having met her, I can tell you that she's somebody who breaks the whole barrier of how a principal should be. Somebody who is extremely open-minded, somebody who is humorous, somebody who is bold, somebody who believes in taking risk, and all for making a difference. Thank you very much, Dr. Sunita Swaraj, for joining us on the show today. It is indeed a pleasure and an honor to have you with us.
Thank you, Kamalneet. It's just wonderful to meet you the other day, and it's amazing to get back to you. once more, and ये जो पूरा कहानी सुना मेरे बारे में, thank you for really apprising me about this. ये सफर जो है शुरू हुआ और कभी सोचा नहीं कर क्या रही हूँ, बट वो जो एक इंटेंट और नियत की बात होती है वो बढ़िया रही शुरू से. सो और फिर ये जो छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं, we really taking care of the future of the world, and these children are just amazing to be with. And today being the Children's Day, I am so glad that I've spent years and years and years to understand these lovely children, and understand is the underline. So thank you, Kamalneet. It's wonderful to be here.
Likewise, and I'm very sure, all the parents out there, there are no guarantees in life, but I can give you one guarantee. If you pay attention to this conversation, it will give you a new lens, a new lens to look at the whole subject of parenting. And you might want to make a few notes, and because some golden nuggets are going to come your way very, very soon. Now, diving in, the show is titled Success Principles by Successful Principles of Parenting Project. So I'm going to pick up the very first term. Success, it's a very broad term, and it means different things to different people. I'm very keen to know, how would you define success? What is your definition of success?
So I think success definitely means different. It's differently understood by different people. But for me, let me just, since this is we're talking about parenting, तो कई बार सोचते हैं कि ये तो मतलब ये प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, ये क्या समझेंगे पेरेंटिंग को. But I really want to talk about it, that I am mother of 3 children. So biological mother of 3 children, and I think thousands of children I've really, I would say mothered. So for past 27 years now. Success, according to me, and being in this profession, is that smile. When I see that smile and the happiness on these children's faces, on the parents' faces, on the teachers' faces, because these are the stakeholders that we all together work for the child's success. So I think for me, success is if you can smile, if you can live happily. These are certain success criteria that we forgot. We've started kitna kama leti ho, kitna kaun si position pe ho. So these are the success criteria today. But for me, I think when I move around in the school, my only question to my teachers or my children is, are you happy? So that smile, that twinkle in their eyes helps me feel successful. So
it's a very powerful answer. And all the parents out there, I think it's time for reflection. So when we say that, are you ready for success? What are you after? And if you as parents can ask your child that powerful, intriguing query, that are you happy? Because I think if he or she is happy, I think other things will fall in place. And I'm glad you gave a very raw, very realistic perspective to how this is being seen today. That how much do you earn? कितने पैसे आते हैं? क्या designation है? क्या position है? But क्या दिल से खुश हो? Are you happy? I'm glad you brought this out. So all the parents out there, success is equal to happiness, the new equation to be considered. Fantastic. Now, all the parents, you've seen thousands of them all these years, whatever their definition of success is, they still want that once these kids, they go out in the real world, they should do well. So they should be successful in whatever their definition of success is. Now, how kids can be successful in the real world? What has to happen for that?
So I don't know why we keep saying कि real world, रोज ही real world में जी रहे हैं. But I think the education system has to become more realistic now. We've been more textic. Now we need to be more realistic. So that has to really change. Even the parenting was more textic, So I mean, if I remember my own time, my mother was always with me at home, but we never could get on a conversation because I had a very conservative family and very, was strict parenting types. अब क्या हो रहा है कि parents बहुत ही lenient. So अब वो दो बहुत अलग अलग parenting styles I've seen. So बहुत lenient होना is no good parenting. But और बहुत strict होना is also, you'll have to create a balance somewhere. But I think today's generations, why I'm saying generations, because पहले 10 साल में जनरेशन बदलती थी, अब वो हमें हर 10 महीने में जनरेशन बदलती है. So these generations are very different. If you very, so these are three things which I really want to enforce is, if you trust them. पेरेंट्स कहते हैं ट्रस्ट करें मैम, फिर वो ट्रस्ट टूटता है तो वो टूटेगा. That's going to happen. But then, and that's a process. So trust, you need to be friends with them. ये बहुत ही difficult path है. Friends with them, but just understand, they go and talk to their friends anything under the sun. But I would say कि friends with them, क्यों नहीं? We've always been a very haw community. Haw, ऐसे हो गया. Haw, ऐसे हो गया. We need to now move to a aha community, because we need to really enjoy our children, enjoy this journey. हम लोग हमेशा ये क्यों सोचते हैं, अरे we know how our journey has been, and we always want कि ठीक है वैसे ही रहें, strict रहें. But then I think we need to be friends with them. We need to understand them. हम ना बड़े ज्ञानी पेरेंट्स हो जी, हमने तो फतेह कर लिया, ये 50 साल की होने जा रही हो, फतेह कर लिया, हमने सब कुछ सीख लिया, और अब ये बच्चे वो 50 साल जिए और ऐसे ही जिए. तो हम क्या करते हैं, हम ज्ञान देने लग जाते हैं, ऐसा नहीं. Instead of giving gyan, take gyan. Because today's children have a lot of gyan. It's everywhere. It's they at a click of a button they have gyan. So अब आपके वो ज्ञान वर्धक बातें उनके पल्ले नहीं पड़ती, बिकॉज जब आप ज्ञान देने लगते हैं तो उनके कान बंद हो जाते हैं और वो सोचते हैं कि हम वो आंसर प्लान कर रहे होते हैं आपका, या फिर वो कुछ कहते नहीं है. और जब वो कुछ नहीं कहते हैं तो आप सोचते हैं कि वाह, मैं तो मतलब इसको सब समझ में आ गया, जबकि उसको कुछ समझ में नहीं आया. सो व्हाट यू नीड टू बिकम अ गुड लिसनर. Instead of your child becoming a good listener, you need to listen to a lot of gyan from them, a lot of stories of theirs. And that is something, these are three things I think are the key words for successful parenting. Ab success ka, again, I would say happy parenting.
I think very powerful, very, very powerful. All the parents out there, I'm sure you must be enjoying listening to the conversation. And at the same time, I think I really hope that there are realizations that we see. And I'm glad you said that, from a haw community to, aha community. And very powerful. And, all the parents out there, जिनको आज झटका लगा होगा कि मेरा जितना ज्ञान था वो काम नहीं आ रहा है, and I think we apologize for that, but then I think it's important that we meet the reality of life. बहुत सारे बच्चे जो हैं, and I really love what you said. A lot of times जब parents कहते हैं कि ये हमसे बात ही नहीं करता, so what she said was that, are you that friend that he can speak to अगर आपने वो दिया ही नहीं तो वो कहाँ से आएगा आपके पास? आई थिंक आई एम ग्लैड यू ब्रॉट दिस अप. ये आज सोचने वाली बात है, एंड दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच इज, इफ दिस कैन हैपन, आई थिंक फिर बच्चे को शायद बाहर जाना ही नहीं पड़ेगा. आई थिंक they say charity begins at home, and I think a great bond begins at home, you know.
Of course.
And so tell me something, building on this a bit, all these years, 27 years with students, and you've seen parents and uh, a huge journey.
Hmm.
कई बार ऐसा होता है, as a parent, what they are doing in their head is all fine, कि मैं ठीक कर रहा हूँ, probably this is something I'm going in the right direction.
Right.
But that behavior can be non-supportive for the child.
Mm-hmm.
So can you highlight a pattern or two, maybe some behaviors, some patterns that parents have which are not very supportive for the kids?
Wow, that's a real big question, because I've been really meeting a lot of parents, और मुझे याद है मेरे पेरेंट्स मेरे साथ और आज के पेरेंट्स बच्चों के साथ हम बहुत लीनियंट हो गए हैं. कुछ मतलब लीनियंट किस तरह से मैं कहूँ कि मतलब मुझे याद है, मुझे 10 रुपए मिलने में भी जद्दोजहद होती थी. 1 रुपया पॉकेट मनी थी. बट टुडे आई थिंक द चिल्ड्रन कैरी 50,000 रुपीज ऑल्सो, सो कहीं पर आई थिंक हम लोग ये वो जो हमने अपने टाइम में देखा, हम हमेशा ये करते आए हैं कि वो हमारे बच्चे न देखें. सो वो एक खौफ के साथ हम इन बच्चों को वो वाली लिबर्टीज दे देते हैं जो कि शायद आर वेरी नॉट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर देम, और वो शायद उनको एक गलत रास्ते पे ले जाते हैं. सो मोर इम्पोर्टेंट इज टू स्पेंड दैट क्वालिटी लिसनिंग टाइम विथ योर चिल्ड्रन. आप लोग इतना स्ट्रगल है. नाउ लेट मी जस्ट हेल्प यू अंडरस्टैंड. एक बच्चा 4th क्लास का एक दिन आया स्कूल में, और रोज ही आता था, तो एक दिन रोज लेट आता था सुबह. सो द टीचर सेड दैट आप रोज लेट आते हैं, आपके पेरेंट्स से बात करनी पड़ेगी. सो दिस चाइल्ड सेड, मैम आपकी हो तो मेरी भी करा देना. So the teacher was like, she came to me, she said, ma'am, this is how the child is talking. So we just sat with the child, and the child said that मैं सुबह ऑटो से आता हूँ, सुबह उठता हूँ और अपने टिफिन में कुछ डाल लेता हूँ, और ऑटो लगाई हुई है, ऑटो में बैठ जाता हूँ, स्कूल आ जाता हूँ, ऑटो वाला लेट हो जाता है, कभी मैं लेट हो जाता हूँ. सो आई कम टू द स्कूल, सो आई एम लेट. I don't meet my parents. And when I go back, my parents are not there. So I sleep because Didi comes and cooks, and I eat and I sleep off, and I don't know when my parents come. Now, at times I meet my parents on a Saturday or a Sunday, but that is also at times, because on Saturdays, Sundays also, they have their own get-togethers, and so they're out. So I really don't have conversations with my parents. That was a real time, reflective time for us, that what is it that we need to do with the children. So now I've told my teachers, I said, देखो हम ये नहीं कर सकते कि हम सिर्फ टेक्स्ट के ऊपर ध्यान दें. It's important for these children to feel comfortable in their own life. And that's the reason we've really brought in a lot of seva projects, a lot of such projects which can really bring in all those aspects which are missing back home, because both the parents are working and there's nobody at home to really have a conversation around it. So this was an example which I wanted to set up, share with you, but I really want to understand what was your question again, because I tend to get into different zones. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll share that, but I was literally moved by what you shared, because it opened a new dimension. शायद उस बच्चे के लिए तो it has been a very very tough experience, must have been a very tough experience. And I'm just thinking parallelly, there are kids who have limited conversation with their parents. Uh, that's also a struggle there.
Mhm.
And I think you have kind of answered what I had asked, which let me share with you. सवाल ये था कि कुछ ऐसे नॉन सपोर्टिव पैटर्न्स होते हैं पेरेंट्स के दैट दे माइट नॉट रियलाइज, बट वो शायद बच्चे को हैम्पर कर रहे हैं. एंड आई
Hmm.
थिंक व्हाट यू द एग्जांपल दैट यू गेव, आई थिंक couldn't have been a better way to answer that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And all the parents out there, शायद बच्चा बोल ना पाए कि उसको आप चाहिए हो, he needs you, but if he's feeling that inside him, I think something is missing. Something
So
is.
another thing which I really want to share here, कि आज के जो पेरेंट्स हैं वो सोचते हैं कि क्या नहीं दिया हमने, that's the first thing, because you are providing them a lot that is not required by them, and going for a lunch with them to a place, a fancy place, and then that doesn't solve his internal issues. The children go through a lot. Now अगर मतलब मैं अगर बात करूं grade 1 का बच्चा, they've started thinking of having girlfriend boyfriend. तो कहाँ मतलब वो वाली जो conversations, because everybody has a laptop, everybody has a phone, so at a click of a button you can just go anywhere in any zone, any world there. So these children are very very aware children. This is a smart generation. I call them as Z generation. They have everything. They know there's a Google Baba sitting there. अब गूगल बाबा को मालूम नहीं है कि कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन पेश करनी है और कौन सी नहीं करनी है. सो इट्स अ सर्च इंजन पे कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन डालता है वो वहां होती है. अब आपका बच्चा इज गेटिंग एक्सपोज्ड टू ऑल दैट इंफॉर्मेशन. So Google Baba is considered to be a champion or a huge information zone, but what information? So you'll have to really be very cautious. In fact, parenting now is much more challenging than parenting back then. Yeah. So it's important for the children to have friends as parents as friends, because they are going to just take out everything. They're going to share everything if you are a good listener. So give them that listening ear and do not react. So I talk about a 90-second window. So आप जो है अगर कोई क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, पहला तो आपका क्वेश्चन बड़ा, it shouldn't be intimidating to the child. अगर आप कोई प्रश्न पूछते हैं तो उस बच्चे को 90-second विंडो दीजिए. और अब एट टाइम्स आपका बच्चा भी आपसे कोई क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है तो वो 90-second विंडो जरूर लीजिए for a reaction to become a response, because it takes time to really absorb the question and to not react on it. अब बच्चा अगर कुछ पूछता है आपसे और कहते हैं कि आप कहते हो नहीं, और आप जो है थोड़ा नहीं ऐसे थोड़ी होता है, ये थोड़ी होता है, वो तो आप 90 सेकंड के बाद अगर वही सवाल का आंसर करेंगे तो वो रिस्पॉन्स होगा, रिएक्शन नहीं. So that's one strategy that I've kept most of the time very close to me when I'm handling my 3 biological children and when I'm handling my thousands of children whom I'm mothering at school. Yeah.
I love this 90-second rule. I think not only between probably kids and parents. I think this can work just about anywhere, and can save a lot of relationships,
Oh,
and
yes.
and a lot of
Yes.
disharmony maybe.
Yeah.
And so from today, I'm going to consider this 90-second rule even for myself, and I think all the parents out there, if you can implement this 90 seconds thing, it will make a lot of difference, because they say कि वो एक बार तीर जब निकल गया वो वापस नहीं आता. I think we'll be able to hold a lot of thieves in that case.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, there is a general notion that, which for me, it did break when I met you, and that principals are extremely formal and extremely professional. You can't get to know too much about them. It has to be just formal. So, but when I met you, I did see that you were like any other human being.
Oh,
However, the perception, can be a little different for people that principals are not available. We don't know them personally. So I took a little initiative, and I'm going to bring in that element here. Uh, now, to your surprise, I have kept a little rapid fire to know
mhm.
you a little at a personal level, and the parents can also get to know you a little better. So,
Absolutely.
are you ready for that?
Oh, yes. Every time I'm ready for any. So my PA, she used to sit outside. छोटा कमरा है उधर, तो वो हमेशा मुझसे पूछती है कि मैम, मतलब आपके पास धनाधन क्वेश्चंस आते हैं और आप धनाधन आंसर्स करते हैं. So how does that happen? So I only say that this is all thanks to, now I'm going to turn 50 years. So all thanks to the journey, the topsy-turvy ride that I've had in my life. So सबके अपने अपनी कहानियां हैं. तो ये जो 50 साल ने इतना कुछ सिखा दिया कि अब काफी कुछ आंसर कर पाती हूँ. So I'm ready for it.
Fantastic. So let me bring it on.
Yeah.
So it's going to be easy. And
I am good with it. Yeah.
so beginning with something to drink, tea or coffee,
Coffee.
summers or winters,
Winters.
right? Mountains or beaches,
Beaches.
all right. So a choice between nimbu pani and coconut water.
Nimbu pani.
Nimbu pani. Indian Chinese,
Chinese.
Chinese Italian.
Italian.
So Italian is the answer there. Okay, great. So chole bhature or aloo paranthe.
Aloo parathe.
Aloo paranthe. Fantastic. Confidence or knowledge.
Both.
Both. And if you have to choose one,
Confidence.
confidence. Okay. Phone call or a text.
Phone call.
Phone call. Sunrise or sunset.
Sunrise.
Sunrise. Facebook or LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Bollywood or Hollywood.
Bollywood.
Bollywood. Big party or a small gathering.
Big party.
Big party. Great. Shopping online or offline.
Offline.
Offline. Okay. Email or handwritten letter.
Email.
Email. Fantastic. Got it. So you're pretty spontaneous and very quick with all the answers, and no wonder you're all set for any kind of questions. Great. So now almost 3 decades of experience, and this is going to be a little difficult one, because I'm going to ask you to pull out one from a decade, right? So
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
so if you have to give 3 suggestions, 3 advices to parents from your 3 decades of experience, what would those be?
I think if I look at my first decade, it the advice out there would be that take it easy, relax, and you'll be fine. Okay. And the second decade is pull up your socks, because you're going to handle the teenagers. So you need to really bring in a lot to your own self to handle that kind of energy, because you need a lot of energy to handle that energy. And the last one is that you need to really trust and build up a bond to help things get easier to relax again.
Well, that's nice. I think I like the way you have put it for every decade. And let me see, जो बादाम खाए इतने साल वो ठीक थे या नहीं. So the first one you said was in the first decade. From the first one, take it easy, and second is pull up your socks, because you will have to deal with a lot of energy and a lot of transition happening. And third one being trust. And I think that's a very, very, very crucial one, because the moment you remove teeth from the trust, you're left with trust. And I think so powerful out there. And eventually, if all this happens, you can relax. Got that. Now, things are changing, and while we want to adapt as much as we can, but the truth also remains that things are changing at a very fast pace. Like, I like the statement that you made कि पहले एक जनरेशन के बाद हम चेंजेस देखते थे, एंड अब हम 10 महीने के बाद चेंजेस देख रहे हैं, not only in people but in our surroundings, in technology, in how the world is unfolding, in how things are shaping up. Now, what skills would you suggest? Because it's a competitive world out there, and it's getting further competitive. It's not stopping. What do you suggest? What skills, what traits should probably kids pick up early, so that they can stand out when they probably get out and be in the workforce maybe?
So competition की अगर मैं बात करूं, सब लोग कहते हैं it's a lot of competition out there. I don't see that. Okay. So let me give you a quick example. I actually live my life with stories. मेरे पास जो भी मेरे पिटारे में, जैसे दादी माँ के पिटारे में स्टोरीज होती थी, तो ऐसे ये 50 साल में वो स्टोरीज पिटारा भरता गया. So I would really want to talk about it. कि there's a lot of competition out there for something that everybody wants to do. But there is a lot which nobody is doing. Like if I talk about our own country, there is so much rich heritage out here. कितना कुछ है जिसको बचाने की जरूरत है, पर कौन बचा रहा है? हिस्ट्री तो कोई पढ़ना नहीं चाहता. I remember my time, उसमें कहते थे अभी भी यही होता है, साइंस, कॉमर्स, humanities, who takes? So there is, I don't see that competition. There is so much which is left untapped. If I talk about UN में there are so many positions which are lying vacant. There are top companies जहां पर लोगों को लोग नहीं मिल रहे. People have been advertising. अब मैं अगर बात करूं, there is a university who is dealing into social sector, and they've been advertising day in and out for having one person for that role. There are no people available. So I don't see any competition out there. It's about हमारी जो भेड़ चाल है, हम चले जा रहे हैं जी, कंप्यूटर साइंस ही है, So I just boarded a flight some 3 months back. I was going to Goa and I just met this lovely girl. She was carrying a little chota sa guitar और वो उसको कुछ और नाम बोल रही थी. तो she was carrying a very smart girl and I asked her, I said, hi, what do you do? And I usually I love talking, whereas if I remember my back in my school I used to be a quiet girl. And आज किसी को बोलो ना कि किसी को भी बोलती हूँ कि I was a quiet girl, they say, are you talking about yourself? Because I am a chatterbox. So I
Well,
just
same journey out there, same journey.
I just spoke to this girl. I said, "Kya karti ho tum?" She said, "I got into a university," and I said, "I don't think I should be going to the university. So I'm doing it online now, and I'm going to Goa, and I'm going to do some business, some music business there." So I said, "Wow." So I said, "How many members in the family?" My brother, he is an engineer, but a musician. I said, "Hey." He always wanted to learn music, but my parents said, "पहले engineer बन जाओ, उसके बाद जो करना है कर ले." So he wasted his 4 years to do that engineering, and today he's doing music. He could have spent those 4 years learning music to be a better musician today. Do you get it?
A powerful message. You know, all the parents out there, I think something to pick up.
There is no competition, no competition. Please, parents, get up and understand what exactly makes your child happy. What is it that will give him happiness and he doesn't have to pull himself every day for work? Or करोड़ों होना is no happiness. कौन सा ऐसा करोड़पति है जो बहुत खुश है? ये आप जरूर देखिएगा. बल्कि वो एक जो एक बंदा, एक आर्टिस्ट है या एनीबडी जो कि अपना वो एंजॉय करता है पूरे दिन और अपना काम जो कर रहा है और बाय द इवनिंग ही स्लीप्स वेरी वेल. So, we need to really reflect as a community कि भेड़ चाल से दूर आए और हम लोग, वो करने दें इन बच्चों को. हर डॉक्टर का बच्चा डॉक्टर नहीं बन सकता है, because that child is very different from the doctor parents. हर पायलट का बच्चा पायलट नहीं बन सकता. He maybe wants to become a hairstylist. So that's something that we need to see, and then there is no competition.
Brilliant. I think you answered it very, very well, and आपने पूरी भूमिका बहुत अच्छे से बांध दी. By the time we have come here, even while making a career, while you said that success may be हम happiness ढूंढें, and coming back to and joining the dots, career में भी आपने यही कहा, identify कि आपका बच्चा किस चीज में खुश रहेगा, वही एक करियर हो सकता है, उसमें फिर कोई कंपटीशन की बात ही नहीं है. एंड ऑल द पेरेंट्स आउट देयर, अगर किसी चीज को सोने में तोला जाए तो ये वो एडवाइस है, आई थिंक उससे भी ज्यादा वैल्यूएबल एडवाइस है ये. एंड बिकॉज if 30 years of a career, a child looks back and talks to you as a parent कि ये मेरी स्ट्रगल आपकी वजह से है, it will be very hard to deal with that statement.
Yeah.
And I think I'm glad you brought this up.
I mean, it will be very hard to deal with that statement, और उस वक्त आप कुछ नहीं कर.
True. Too late.
The child has already lived his 30 years doing nothing, doing just being an obedient child.
And an obedient, if I can add, an obedient, unhappy child.
Unhappy child. So we need to decide whether we want to go there. ये वाला काम क्या करना है? फोटोग्राफी करना है तूने? फोटोग्राफी में पैसे हैं क्या? भैया सब चीज पैसे तो नहीं है. आप लोगों ने बड़ा पैसों की जद्दोजहद की और पैसे कमा लिए, और आज उनको अगर एक बैग चाहिए होता है 4 देते हैं, और फिर भी बच्चे खुश नहीं हैं. There is so much of mental upheaval. There's so much of mental trauma that the children are going through. तो वो 4 बैग भी अगर बच्चे को खुश नहीं कर पाए, तो हमको रिफ्लेक्ट करना है, रिव्यू करना है, रीफ्रेम करना है, व्हाट reframe करना है the way we've been parenting.
I think that's brilliant. And आपके ये वाले examples है ना, it reminds me of something, and I wouldn't refrain. I was attending a training program and I had a buddy with me, accountability partner. And she said that as a family we do 1,000 crores annually, like 1,000 crores annually,
Wow.
close to about 80-85 crores a month. And when I asked her that, how are you doing? And उसने ये बोला कि बहुत बुरा हाल है मेरा. And out of the curiosity, I asked her, does this money not add up to it? She said, मुझे लगता था, but it doesn't. I am miserable. And that hit me very hard. And I'm glad you brought this out, because जिस चीज के पीछे शायद हम धकेल रहे हैं बच्चों को, वो शायद उनको वो नहीं दे पाएगी जो हमने शुरू में ही बात की, the happiness part of it.
Yeah. So it's all about being happy. और एक और बात है जो मैं कहना चाहूंगी, मुझे इस स्कूल में 10 साल हो गए हैं, और मेरे ख्याल से जो मैं इन 10 साल में कर पाई, वो मैं उससे पहले 18 साल थी अलग अलग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में, और मैं नहीं कर पाई. क्यों? क्योंकि द काइंड ऑफ फ्रीडम दैट आई हैड हियर, एंड द काइंड ऑफ जो सुनीता बचपन से करना चाहती थी. बचपन में सुनीता हैड टाई इश्यूज, टाई चुभती थी, बेल्ट चुभती थी, लगता था कि हे राम, मतलब हम ये जो है ये कौन छोड़ के, सो ये वाले जो 10 साल हैं, इनमें ये बहुत रिफ्लेक्ट किया मैंने. और 2-3 ऐसी चीजें हैं जो मैं कर पाई विच आर बिग टिकट्स, एंड आई रियली वांट टू शेयर दैट. कि सबसे पहले द यूनिफॉर्म, who left the uniform? The Britishers left it here. And हम लोग सब बड़े दिमाग से ये सोच के बैठे हैं कि जी यही लाइफ है. अगर यही लाइफ, आज सुबह ही मैं किसी से कॉन्वर्सेशन कर रही थी कि अगर वही लाइफ है तो आज ब्रिटेन इस कगार पे नहीं होता जहां पर उसको एक इंडियन को देश देना पड़ता संभालने के लिए. सो अगर मैं देखूं, if that was a success thing, then Britain would have been the most successful country today.
Profound.
So today, if I talk about, so first thing I did is uniform हटाई. तो बहुत पेरेंट्स का बड़ा जद्दोजहद कि ये कैसे होगा, सब एक जैसे अगर सारे बच्चे एक जैसे दिखने चाहिए तो भगवान को सबको एक जैसा ही बना के भेजना चाहिए था. Why is it that the children are not living in colors? Thankfully, with the freedom, I could just make it happen, and the children look so comfortable, so happy here. And कोविड के बाद जब वो वापस आए तो उनकी वो जद्दोजहद नहीं रही, क्योंकि घर में भी ऐसे रहते थे, यहाँ भी ऐसे ही रहे.
ट्रांजिशन बहुत स्मूथ हो गया वो.
Yes, one very important thing. Second is because of my freedom and the trust that the management had in me. These are two very important things that helped me do this. Second is the collaborative model that I figured out. हमेशा अपने क्लास में ना, मैं बहुत अच्छी पढ़ाई में नहीं थी, तो हमेशा लगता था कि अकेली रह गई, टीचर से पूछने का हिम्मत नहीं थी, कोई और कैसे किसी से बताऊं तो शर्म आती थी कि हाय तुझे समझ में ही नहीं आया. So then we got into a collaborative model. There's a 8 children crew which is further divided into 4. So there are 4 crews in the class, and the children, they learn from each other, and those crews are very well designed, very well thought of. जो बच्चे बहुत अपने बेहतरीन अपने आप समझ जाते हैं, वो बच्चे 2 उसमें, 2 एवरेज बच्चे, 2 बिलो एवरेज बच्चे जैसे मैं थी, और 2 बच्चे जो कि इकोनॉमिकली वीकर सेक्शन से आते हैं. तो आपस में ही वो लोग काफी, एंड इट्स अ स्टूडेंट लेड, बच्चे चलाएं स्कूल, दैट्स समथिंग दैट आई ड्रीम ऑफ ओवर हियर. सो they are the ones, everybody is going to talk in the classroom. कोई मेरी तरह चुप ना रह जाए इस क्लास में. So that's a big ticket that we could really bring in. And the third is, in my 11th and 12th, we've demolished, I would say. 11th 12th में कोई साइंस का बच्चा नहीं है, कोई कॉमर्स का नहीं, कोई ह्यूमैनिटीज का नहीं, सब एक साथ बैठते हैं, अपने अपने सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ने जाते हैं जब उनका टाइम होता है, क्योंकि एवरी सब्जेक्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एंड दिस आई कुड डू इट विथ CBSE 6 years बैक। तो CBSE आपको रोकता नहीं है कि आप ऐसे ना करो। So, I would say that the trust and the freedom that I got helped me become authentic. What I was born with, क्योंकि बचपन से वो मास्क पे मास्क चढ़ता जाता है कि पिताजी क्या कहेंगे, पड़ोसी क्या कहेंगे, और हम मास्क पहनते जाते हैं। बाय द एज ऑफ 40 you feel इतना बोझल लगता है, you feel, and I think I've almost removed 98% masks. 2% अभी भी बाकी हैं, जो बहुत मुश्किल है, पर नामुमकिन नहीं है। कोशिश कर रही हूँ कि वो 2% भी उतर जाए। So that's how life is, and I think these are two very important things which have helped me really do what I wanted to do. So thanks to the management.
Fantastic. And I think, all the parents out there, if you pick up this conversation and see the role that trust and freedom has played, I'll repeat that because ये message जाना चाहिए, because what has happened, the element of trust and the element of freedom is what really made a massive difference. And for all the parents out there, just to help you understand that heritage is one of the schools that a lot of schools look up to in terms of model practices, what's being done, and jo puri jo soch hai, and I'm very sure that doing this there would have been challenges, but then you had been there, you had been that child who was not comfortable. So उस जर्नी को यूटिलाइज करते हुए you brought out those changes, and I hear it from the fraternity that it is working out very, very well. Kids are happy, they're learning from each other. There is no hierarchy कि मैं I feel better because I'm from science, because the access, it's a common ground for everybody. And I would really like to congratulate you on this brilliant initiative. You have made a difference.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
I really want every child in the country to go through this kind of a learning and this kind of a parenting, so that हम अपने बच्चों को एक बेहतरीन जिंदगी दे पाएं और उनको तैयार कर पाएं कि ये जो बहुत सुंदर वर्ल्ड है, दुनिया है, इसको सहेज सकें, इसको संभाल सकें वो। और I've been listening from different quarters that it's a difficult world out there. I don't agree to that. It's a beautiful world out there. We need to really help our children understand things beautifully, to keep that world, to make that world more beautiful.
I think that's a profound message. And so जो बच्चे का जब लेंस बदल जाएगा तो I think उसकी जिंदगी भी बदल जाएगी.
जी बिल्कुल.
Fantastic. And coming towards the end, very intrigued to know. I remember talking to you, and I also remember that while all the parents, everything looks that yes, madam is leading the heritage school Vasant Kunj, but the journey, for all of you that were not aware of, the journey was not easy. The journey had its own share of struggles. So if you can share, from how things were to how things are, what has been your success mantra, or maybe a couple of them? What helped you become this charismatic you the way you are now?
You know what? People must be thinking, oh my God, she belongs to that rich family and she's had her own time. What gyan is she giving and all of that? But I really want to tell you, parents, that it has been a journey. I'm going to write a book soon, which is Ghungat Se US Tak Ka Safar. So, कोशिश कर रही हूँ लिख दूं, अभी शुरुआत भी नहीं कही, आई एम नॉट प्रमोटिंग इट, बट किसी ने मुझे कहा अभी, जो हमारे कॉलेज प्लेसमेंट के हेड हैं, he just said, he said don't write it in English because ये वाली किताब गांव के लोग को पढ़ना चाहिए, बिकॉज वो जो लेडीज हैं जो गिव अप कर देती हैं कि अब हमारी यही जिंदगी है, तो और वो वहीं ठहर जाती हैं. दिस नीड्स टू बी अ मोटिवेशन फॉर दोज विमेन आउट देयर who need to say that और क्या है, और क्या कर सकती हूँ मैं जिंदगी में.
ये जो टाइटल है, यू नो, घूंघट से यूएसए, ये बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग टाइटल है. बट मंत्रा ठीक है, विल अंडरस्टैंड यू व्हाट्स द मंत्रा लाइक, बट हाउ अबाउट इफ यू थ्रो सम लाइट, ये थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड इफ यू कैन शेयर, व्हाट्स द बैकग्राउंड लाइक, घूंघट टू यूएसए, एंड व्हाट हैज बीन द जर्नी लाइक.
All right. So what I was saying that सबको ये समझना है कि अगर हमारे साथ कुछ डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन आई है तो हम वहां थम ना जाए, क्योंकि देयर इज सो मच आउट देयर. यूजुअली ये हो गया, लाइफ खत्म, ऐसा कतई नहीं है. सो आई रियली वांट टू टॉक अबाउट इट. ये बुक तो बस एक दिमाग में आया क्योंकि मेरे जो 3 बच्चे हैं और एक बिटिया मेरी यूएसए से पढ़ के आई है. शी इज डन हर कंप्यूटर साइंस एंड फाइनेंस एंड शी इज कम बैक, एंड दूसरी बिटिया उधर गई है. तो जब मैं अपनी जर्नी को देखती हूँ तो मेरी जो हम हिंदी में कहते हैं, मेरा ब्याह एक गांव में हो गया था, और वहां पर मैं 5 साल तक रही. तो जैसे ही मैं वहां पहुंची तो उस गांव में जो हमारे हिंदुस्तान के गांव हैं, वहां पर घूंघट में रहती हैं ज्यादातर महिलाएं. और तो द वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग दैट द मोमेंट आई लैंडेड देयर, आई वाज लाइक, I have to be in Ghungat. And I was a city girl and never lived in a village. But then this guy I'm married to was a phenomenal guy. And वहां पहुंचे तो हमारी जो दादी सास हैं, उन्होंने कहा जी यहाँ पर घूंघट में ही रहना है. और the journey began, and somehow, with a lot of dialoguing, a lot of conversations, I could move from a घूंघट to Sardhakna. So वो उस गांव में शायद पहली बहू ऐसी थी जिसने वो सर ढकने पे आई. So I used to go to school. I was a corporate person. I was working with NIIT in Ahmedabad. And I was a corporate person. I was moved to the Delhi office, but then traveling from that village to the Delhi office was such a struggle. तो हमने कहा, हमारे हस्बैंड ने कहा कि आप एक काम करिए, टीचर बन जाइए, क्योंकि उसमें क्या है कि आप बच्चों को भी संभाल लेंगी, घर को भी संभाल लेंगी. तो तब तो लगा कि ये क्या एडवाइस है. पर हमने कहा, सुनीता, ये बहुत अच्छा मौका है आपके पास घर से बाहर निकलने का. एंड आई पिक्ड अप दिस जॉब फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 16,000 की सैलरी से 1,600 की सैलरी पे आ गई मैं. और जब मैंने पूछा प्रिंसिपल से, आई सेड, सर शायद आप एक 0 लगाना भूल गए. कह रहे नहीं, टीचर्स को इतना ही मिलता है. एंड I went to teach business studies and I was hired as a nursery teacher. But then, as I was saying, that it has been a journey, it has been a ride. But then after 5 years, I moved out from that village. And today I'm here. And when I went to drop my daughter to US, or when I went to US for the first time, I just thought that I just looked back and I said, wow, this has been a journey. So तब सोच आई थी कि ये कभी बुढ़ापे में एक किताब जरूर लिखूंगी, ताकि वो जो मेरे उस जर्नी में, क्योंकि अभी वक्त कम है, इस पूरी जर्नी सुनाऊंगी तो पता ही नहीं कितने महीने लग जाएंगे. तो हमने कहा, हर एक छोटी छोटी जो सीख मुझे इस जर्नी में मिली, जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग्स मैंने बिल्डअप की, अगर वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग्स कुछ और कुछ मेरे जैसी महिलाएं हैं, या कुछ ऐसी महिलाएं जो गिव अप कर देती हैं, या आई वुड से महिलाएं भी नहीं, anybody for that matter, who give up, ki, oh my God, this is it. So I would say this is not it. There is a lot out there. Go, explore, figure out, and life is beautiful, I said. And you'll have to figure out how you can make it more beautiful for your own self. So that is something that I thought I would really highlight here, looking at the time, that frame that we have. But yeah, there are a lot of stories, good stories.
I think this is
I wouldn't say bad stories, because I call stories very good stories, because there's so much to learn from those stories.
But a massive journey, it would have taken something, I was, as you were talking, I was visualizing, moving to a village, and then, under those conditions wherein you have to follow those rigid instructions, and then, so from Bhungat to the US, मुझे लग रहा है ये perfect title है, और ये book definitely बाहर आनी चाहिए, and I feel that किसी ने बोला, I don't know who said this, but a gentleman gave a very powerful message. He said that if you can convert your mess into a message, it can become a movement for a lot of people, and I think we have done that. So, yeah.
Wow, that's so powerful that I've got from you. Mess to a message.
That becomes
lovely. Thank you for getting this to my learning, because हर रोज हम सीख रहे हैं, हर रोज हम लोग कुछ ना कुछ अपने bucket में डालते हैं. So thank you.
Thanks to you, and it has been an exceptional interview. It has been wonderful, listening to you, listening to your insights and the nuggets that you gave, जो आपने parents के लिए बताए हैं, and I learned a lot in the whole process. And to all the parents out there, if you condense everything and start implementing, it will make a massive difference to your relationship with your child, and that's probably the most cherished relationship. And I'm thankful to you, and thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to many more conversations. And वो जो stories का जो पिटारा है, वो आने वाली conversations में मुझे लगता है कि और भी हमें खोलना चाहिए उस पिटारे को.
Absolutely. And I would just a closing remark, I would say, parents, please keep it simple. We've made it very difficult, but simple rakhoge to zyada maza aayega parenting mein. So thank you, Kamalneet, and looking forward to more such conversations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Take care.